Stepping bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to jump dozens of cars in a single bound. Coming up next, it's the superstars of the MTRA. This is Trucks and Tractor Power, featuring the superstars of the four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Nationals Monster Truck Challenge. Welcome to Trucks and Tractor Power on the Nashville Network. You're looking at the Ohio Village just outside Columbus. And from the pre-Civil War era, we fast forward across town to the Ohio State Fairgrounds, where chrome, candy apple, and plenty of horsepower are the order of the day at the four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Spring Nationals. And with all the spit and polish, hi everybody, I'm Gary Lee. You know, monster truck racing is becoming a high-tech motorsports. There are racing teams now using computer technology, but there are other teams, as we say, still doing it the old-fashioned way. And here with more on that is Army Armstrong.
Well, Gary, case in point would be the 1989 Equalizer. That was the first year a national champion monster truck was crowned. The Equalizer took the win back to the volunteer state of Tennessee, and those guys basically have a philosophy is if it's not broke, don't fix it, and it seems to work for them. We're going to tell you some of the things they did a little bit different. First of all, they got a center of gravity down closer to the ground. Seemed to work a whole lot better for them. Put the engine behind the driver, not in front of him, to balance the vehicle out. And then they go to some off-road technology out of California. The Custer shock absorbers were brought into the monster truck picture. So while other guys were out there trying to figure it out on their computer, those boys out of Tennessee, they just sharpened their pencils and went to the pay window.
Well, Army, speaking of sharpening pencils, check out the handiwork of the pinstriping paintbrush. Well, from all the spit and polish, we're headed over to the competition area for monster truck racing. Round one action is coming up next. Army, as you like to say, it's time to put on the war paint. We're in Columbus, Ohio at the Ohio State Fairgrounds, where four trucks present the PENDA four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Spring Nationals, a part of the B.F. Goodrich Performance Series. Gary Lee alongside Army Armstrong, and the Army, a good crowd on hand, being bathed in sunshine here this afternoon, as we're going to take a look at the run of the Fast Qualifier. This is the new Dodge truck, barefoot, driven by Fred Schaefer.
Well, when he came to the line, everybody dropped what they were doing to walk over to watch him. Schaefer had been with Chevrolet for a long time. He switched over to Dodge, and it's paying dividends right now as he's quick of the day.
Army, talk about high-tech, computer-designed trucks. We have a pair right there lining up side by side in round one, Barefoot and King Crunch. Here is a look at round one. We also have Snakebite, your fifth Fast Qualifier, against No Problem. Also, competition will include Torres taking on the Gravedigger back on the series for the first time in a while. The Equalizer and Keystone Cruncher. Then it's Nightmare against Tropical Thunder out of Florida. And Bigfoot, your second Fast Qualifier, against Carolina Crusher. And there's a look once again at Fred Schaefer in Barefoot out of Pontoon Beach, Illinois.
Well, he comes to this sport from drag racing. You can tell it. He was doing what we call dry hops back there. He has a 10,000-pound truck that he's yanking around. He's going up against this kid out of Texas. Anybody that follows the sport knows Scott Stevens could be a player for you in a heartbeat. But Schaefer's the guy today that for some reason everybody's watching. The new Dodge, the new high-tech truck. Wow, does he drill Scott Stevens.
I don't think Scott was asleep at the start. I think there was a problem there with that King Crunch GMC, but boy, it was all Fred Schaefer.
Wow, Scott was, it's almost like he didn't even see the light.
So Fred Schaefer takes the measure of King Crunch, pair of new trucks, but it was an easy win for Fred Schaefer. There's a look at Colt Cobra out of Cobra Creek, Colorado. You think they might be pulling our leg just a bit here in the snake bite?
No, it's a serious deal. As we also look at who he's going up against, it'll be the No Problem car, or truck, excuse me, of John Moore with the new sponsor of HPX Fasters. But Colt Cobra is for real. He built this truck to prove that he can build the fastest Ford monster truck in the country.
Well, it doesn't look like a Ford, but indeed it is, with that GTS fiberglass nose on that vehicle. And Colt Cobra in the snake bite takes the victory over No Problem.
Well, John Morris experimented with the new chassis on the far side, and it's real spongy. Notice when he leaves the line, how instead of going left to right, I mean front to back, it does go left to right. It just has completely different handling characteristics than anything we've seen so far, so he's got a little bit of work to do yet.
Little jubilation there as he climbs out of that truck to talk to Army.
Well, call that. The excitement could be short-lived. You got Schaefer in the next round, and he's got lane choice. You know he's going to go into your lane. He wants the right side.
Don't bother me at all, Army.
Running that good?
We're just holding back for him. We're waiting. We're going to put the Dodge in its place. You know, the Ford Brass Eagle snakebite here is running real good this weekend. We're looking to pull him off the lights, and we're going to carry it through all the way through the end.
A brash Colt Cobra.
No, I tell you what, if you don't believe in yourself, you don't belong in a race car. I think he just, you know, if he can back it up, he's going to be a hero.
This should be an interesting matchup. Eldon Depew in Taurus. He drives for his uncle, Jack Willman Sr., and there is a look at the Grave Digger, a 1950 Chevrolet panel truck. Haven't seen Dennis Anderson for a while. He is a crowd favorite.
Out of Kill Devil Hill, North Carolina, when the two red lights come on the Grave Digger, that means he's 100%. You're going to see two Sky pilots right now. Both of these guys love to fly their monster trucks, and the people in Ohio are going to get to see the
What's going to happen in the second half of the run? It is, oh, hang on. Dennis Anderson, he almost high-headed that thing. Dennis Anderson, both those guys had trouble getting stopped. What a great ride, but Dennis Anderson, the Grave Digger, takes the victory.
Who is it? Who they say?
Well, we'll show you again. I said it was Dennis Anderson. It was indeed a photo finish. Jack Willman, the uncle of the driver of Taurus, was wondering who actually won it, but right here you'll see in a photo finish, Dennis Anderson, by perhaps a wheel. Dennis Anderson out of the Grave Digger to talk to Army.
Dennis, is monster truck racing kind of like riding a bicycle? Once you learn how to do it, you develop a style, and that wins for you?
Yeah, it really is. You know, it's a little different when you jump in a new truck with a new style suspension on it, and this does have a new style suspension, which I had another truck before, but I'm still getting the feel of this truck, but feels pretty good to me right now. It's kind of, it wants to gyro and roll over to the side, but we'll get that figured out.
You know, the other drivers were walking back in the pit area a minute ago, and boy, they were just shaking their head, and it says, man, the kid has still got it.
Yeah, I tell you, it makes me feel good because I get down there on the other end and feels pretty wild. I mean, I feel fortunate that I can pull out of what I'm doing and get her landing on all fours, because I'd hate to wipe her out here today.
Tell you what now, can you expect anything else to happen when you're talking to the Grave Digger? You are wild. Good luck to you.
All right, thanks.
Army, I don't know how he ever got that truck under control, because he was well out of control down there in the shutdown area. We look there at the Keystone Cruncher and Dan Patrick, who has been around this sport for a lot of years as really a constructor, building some of these high-tech trucks. And he goes up against the Equalizer with David Morris, and David and his crew still using the same setup as they used when they first came into the sport back in 1989.
This is a truck that I opened the show with. I was telling you about these old boys out of Tennessee. In 1989, they had it figured out with a pencil. Everybody else has got computers, and they're winding up basically where these guys started off at. See what I mean?
It's going to be, yeah, David Morris by a large margin over Dan Patrick. So Morris in the Equalizer will advance as he knocks out the Keystone Cruncher.
You know, like we say, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Look how smooth this truck is. Like an old pair of loafers. He just kind of gets out there and drives it. But when you go to the bank on Monday morning, that first place check, that's all they care about.
Yeah, the bank cashier does not ask if it's an old-style truck or a new high-tech truck either.
Amen.
And now we take a look at Nightmare coming up next. Nightmare, a GMC pickup truck. And that is Steve Hess out of Haviland, Ohio. And he will go up against Tropical Thunder. Wayne Smozanik out of Jupiter, Florida.
Smozanik comes in with a new sponsor this year, a new truck. The chassis engineering people who are known nationally for their involvement in drag racing are now starting to get over to monster trucks. That's a truck in the far lane. It's got a cantilever suspension on the rear. Meanwhile, Nightmare runs a later style shock absorbers, but basically they're in the stock location. The high tech this time should go to the far lane. Hey, but
no, it's Nightmare. Nightmare takes the victory. So Steve Hess is victorious in the GMC. It's going to be a long haul back to Florida for Wayne Smozanik.
Well, that's South Florida, too. It's way...
That's Jupiter, Florida. That's the home of Burt Reynolds. Wonder if he ever runs into Lonnie Anderson.
I don't know, but if you say Jupiter, Florida, I guarantee everybody in the world knows that's where Burt Reynolds lives. Well, congratulations to the Nightmare team, eh? They worked hard to get that win.
Hey, how about this? Here's Andy Brass, Bigfoot 10, the newest in the stable of Bigfoot trucks out of St. Louis, Missouri. This is another two-frame racer with a rear engine configuration. He was only the second fast qualifier. That was somewhat of a surprise. And here is the Carolina Crusher with Gary Porter out of North Carolina.
Well, Porter run the engine up front in the Chevrolet. Andy Brass, like you say, comes with the number 10 truck. How do you know it's different? Everybody says that Bigfoot trucks are all blue. The red and yellow stripe tells you it's a racer. And boy, is it a racer. Look at that.
Talk about computer design. That's exactly how Bob Chandler designs the Bigfoot trucks on his home computer. And Bigfoot Andy Brass takes the victory over the Carolina Crusher. So we have Barefoot, the fast qualifier, advancing. Now Bigfoot, the second fast qualifier, has advanced.
Well, through this round, both lanes look to be pretty equal. Nobody's getting advantage so far. The truck that drives the best race is going into the next round.
Some good, close first-round competition here in Columbus, Ohio. We'll take a break and come back. Hi, guys. We're coming back to Columbus. Stay with us. Gary Lee and Army Armstrong back with you at the Ohio State Fairgrounds in Columbus. We are getting ready now for round 2 competition. Here's the way they shake out. Barefoot will take on Colt Cobra and Snakebite. Barefoot, the fastest qualifier this afternoon. What a run by Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger. Digger will take on Equalizer. And also we'll have Nightmare squaring off against Andy Brass in Bigfoot. All right, round 2 competition coming your way. And there is a look at Snakebite.
You know, it's amazing how close these guys are. As Colt Cobra out of Cobra Creek, Colorado comes to line, I told you the story about him. There is a little mystique there. He wants to be the fastest Ford, but right now, he's got one bad boy Dodge to get by. This is the truck that everybody's watching. Like I say, Fred Schaefer just switched over to Dodge, and everybody's saying, did he make the right move or the wrong move?
Well, Dodge is coming back into racing in a big way, and look at that. Look at the air under Barefoot. The big Dodge takes the victory in round 2. I think Dodge is back.
You might say they literally jumped back into racing this time.
Well, that was a leap to victory. Watch him again. He has the whole shot. He takes the measure right away. Snakebite didn't have a chance.
No, and Snakebite, it's time. He ran a good time, but Fred Schaefer was just so quick, and the truck was so responsive.
Here now is a look at the GMC we call Nightmare. And this is Steve Hess. Didn't have far to drive to tow over here to Columbus. Steve Hess, the Nightmare GMC, and he takes on a master of this sport, Andy Brass in Bigfoot number 10.
Number 10, the engine's located to the rear of the driver. There's a lot of changes in the suspension of the truck. They're all still painted blue, but the red and yellow stripes say it's a race truck, and it's going to handle real soft.
Oh, and this is all Andy in the first half. Yeah, he takes it. Andy was well up in the first half of the run. Steve Hess made a run at him. But there again, Andy Brass takes the victory. So the second fast qualifier has also advanced.
You know, it's amazing how in this sport, like any other form of motorsports, they're starting to tweak the chassis. Some guys run good one place, other guys run good the other place, but the finish line is at the same place for both of them.
Now we take a look at David Morris in the Equalizer.
National champion, first year out. Took a year off after he won the national championship for the birth of his daughter. Gary Cook welcomed him with open arms back into the driver's seat. But who are they going to go up against? The red light bandit himself out of Kill Devil Hill, North Carolina, Dennis Anderson, the Gravedigger.
There's a word in motorsports. We call it sandbagging. Dennis Anderson has never heard of that word. He never sandbags. Full tilt all the way. Look at that wheel stand. And Dennis Anderson, was he disqualified? Did he get out of the run there? I'm not sure.
I can't tell. The dust came up.
He won if he didn't get disqualified.
What a... You talk about crowd appeal.
Let's watch again. Now, Army, watch.
When he comes over the jump, the front feet stay out of the water. He's putting power to the rear wheels. Now the front end settles down, and what time is it? Sky time.
Now, is he out of bounds when he crosses the finish line? Well, apparently they say no. Dennis Anderson has won it, but it was a good run for the Equalizer, so David Morris could come back in the semifinal round as the fast loser. That was a good run for the Equalizer, but the victory goes to that 1950 Chevrolet panel truck, the Gravedigger.
These people in Columbus, Ohio are seeing some classic monster truck racing.
Well, these jamborees offer a host of activities for not only the truck lover, but the entire family as well. So to find out more, please call or write the Special Events Promotion Company, and we love being here in Columbus, Ohio. And so do all these great motorsports fans as we are ready now for semifinal action. Let's take a look. It will be Barefoot, the fast qualifier, against the Gravedigger, and the Equalizer, your fast loser, against your second fast qualifier, Bigfoot and Andy Brass. And there is a look right there at Barefoot with Fred Schaefer, the Dodge, against the Chevy, the old Chevy of Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger.
You spell it W-A-R, war. Watch it.
It's the Digger. The Gravedigger takes the victory over the fast qualifier. A bit of a surprise, Army.
I don't know. I am just thrilled. I cannot believe those guys ran that hard, that close to each other. That was controlled mayhem, if you will.
Let's take a look again. Now, here's the wheel stand in no man's land. He's back on the throttle and over the second set of cars, but watch as he lands on that left rear. He actually pops the tire off the rim. We'll have a chance to look again. Watch off to the right side of your screen. Right there, he pops the air right out of that tire. So let's go down now and talk to Dennis Anderson.
Dennis, everybody was worried about the Dodge. He didn't seem to have you bothered a bit today. You just kind of thumped him good out there.
Yeah, I tell you, he qualified pretty good, and both of us been running some good times. And I was kind of fearing that Dodge, too, because I tell you, he's got a big old motor packed underneath the hood of that thing. But now I found out, I said his motor looks big, but his motor isn't any bigger than mine.
And here is a look at the Bigfoot Ford against the Equalizer. Andy Brass against young David Morris.
I'll give you a comparison here. Computer against a pencil. Pencil leads first.
The pencil's going to win it. The Equalizer knocks out Bigfoot. The Equalizer, only the fourth fast qualifier, knocks out the second fast qualifier. Let's look one more time, Army.
But he comes back into this thing to the loser bracket, doesn't he, Gary?
Yeah, he was there as a fast loser from the last round. An impressive drive for young David Morris. And he is down trackside with Army Armstrong.
Well, the finals go down is going to be you representing the Chevrolet camp, but the other side of the lane is going to be a Chevrolet also out of North Carolina. Anderson's tough. Are you tough enough to handle him today?
I'm tough enough to handle him. The big thing is this lane choice, and he's going to have the best lane. The lane that I'll have to run is going to put me higher in the air over the first set of cars, and that's going to hurt me because he's probably going to get on the ground before I do. So the way the trucks are running here, you can't back out of it for 1 second, so I'll just have to shoot for the best.
So it's the Gravedigger who came into this program as an open qualifier, trying to best another old veteran in the finals of the four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Spring Nationals in Columbus. Welcome back to Columbus, Ohio, where Ford Trucks present the PENDA four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Spring Nationals as part of the BF Goodrich Performance Series. Gary Lee along with Army Armstrong, we are ready for the championship shootout. It's the Gravedigger with Dennis Anderson against this driver right here, David Morris, in Equalizer. Now remember, these two met in round two with Digger taking the measure. And of course, as the fast loser, here it is earlier on tape, the fast loser in that round was David Morris in the Equalizer, so he was able to advance in this particular 12-truck format.
Equalizer knows he may be going up against a wounded Gravedigger. The word we're getting is when the Gravedigger landed sideways in the previous round, he blew the left rear tire off the rim, as you pointed out to the people, and they are not sure whether or not he's got enough air in that tire to hold the horsepower.
We will soon find out, and in fact, Gravedigger does have a problem off the line. David Morris will take the victory here in Columbus in the Equalizer.
Boy, you don't blink in this sport. Morris left.
Well, the Digger will complete the run well off the pace, but the victory here in Columbus, Ohio will go to the Equalizer and David Morris.
Well,
and there is a wounded Gravedigger.
You know, what can you say? Take the bitter with the sweet.
Just a case of not having enough air in that left rear?
Yeah, you know, and it's funny because really they only run about 6 pounds of air to start with. But when they blew that tire out before, they just didn't. If it had another 30 seconds or a minute to put some more air in that tire, they'd have been all right. But, you know, you live and die by the clock.
But Army, as always, Dennis Anderson gave the crowd his very best shot. It wasn't quite good enough today. There's a look at his slow run across the cars. But here's our victor, David Morris, with Army Armstrong.
Well, Gary, all day long the story has been this high-tech trucks, and I've been kind of leaning that way and paying a lot of attention. But what happened when it came to the final time? These guys out of the Tennessee mountains rolled out and thumped everybody. David Morris, congratulations. You and Gary Cook sent these guys back to the drawing board today.
Yeah, we got a truck we've been running since 1988, but we just been making a few changes on it, and the old girl's still doing good.
Well, congratulations to you and Gary Cook. And once again, these two guys out of Tennessee show that computer may not be all it's cracked up to be. An old sharp pencil will still get the job done. Gary?
Well, congratulations to David. There is a disappointed Dennis Anderson. So for Army Armstrong, I'm Gary Lee. We'll see you next week for another edition of Trucks and Tractor Power. Now, here's news of an exciting video release from Diamond P Sports.
Just released. Here's another dramatic classic from Diamond P. It's And They Walked Away 3. That's right. By calling 1-800-648-1008, you get the latest installment of this all-time best-selling series, capturing motorsport's most perilous moments yet. Stock cars tangle and tumble on the oval high banks. Drag racers experience terrifying infernos. Sprint cars dance too close and pay the consequences, and much more. And in each breathtaking incident, the driver beats the odds. To order And They Walked Away 3, call 1-800-648-1008 or send check or money order for $24.95 plus $4 shipping and handling to the address on your screen. That's 1-800-648-1008. And while you're ordering, pick up on a Diamond P Sports sweatshirt. It's comfortable and stylish with Diamond P sleeve logo. That's 1-800-648-1008.